I must ensure public order.
In line with the constitutional oath to protect the lives and property of every citizen, our government will not stand idly by and allow a few with a clear political agenda to tear this nation apart.
The much anticipated Tinubu speech is here. In the entire epistle, he never yielded to even one demand of the protesters. Instead, it is more threats that they will use force to crush protesters. This gives credence to the rumor a few days ago that the police have been given authority to shoot on sight. They've been shooting people on sight in many parts of northern Nigeria, in Abuja. Why is Tinubu killing northerners? This is why they are calling on Putin and raising Russian flags. In one protest, they were chanting, "No violence, no looting, we are for peaceful protests," and the police still shot at them. This happened in Kano. So what is going on here? Why do they want to desperately stop protesters from protesting, even if they are peaceful? It doesn't make any sense. Are we now in a full-blown dictatorship? Tinubu himself protested during Goodluck Jonathan's administration. No one shot at him, no one threatened him. Why are they threatening and shooting at Nigerians this time? The answer is clear. They are panicking. They know that if the people troop out in their massive numbers, imagine thousands of people in the streets of Nigeria, they will not be able to tackle them. They will not be able to shoot all of them. Tear gas wouldn't work because the sheer number of people in front of policemen will overwhelm them, including the army. How many are they? Are they going to deploy tanks, armored vehicles to fight peaceful protesters? So imagine the scenario. They know that a massive protest will sweep them from power. That's why Nigerians are planning a massive protest tomorrow, Monday, being the 5th day of the protest.
I therefore took the painful yet necessary decision to remove fresh subsidy and abolish multiple foreign exchange system, which had constituted a noose around the economic jugular of our nation and impede our economic development and progress. These actions block the greedy and the profit that smugglers and rent seekers make.
One would have thought that by now they would have stopped using this as an excuse for the removal of petrol subsidy or the increase in petrol price, because it doesn't make any sense. How can they, because of a few men that are enjoying the criminal subsidy, hurt the entire Nigerian economy? What happened to law enforcement? Or are these people ghosts? Why can't the police catch them and put them to trial to recover the billions they stole from Nigeria? Even the laughable excuse that we are subsidizing petrol for neighboring countries. What happened to customs officials that allow these petrol tankers to be moved across the border? So this is not tenable as an excuse for increasing petrol price. Let them find something that is tenable so that Nigerians will buy into it. For now, it is a hoax. They are just impoverishing Nigerians. By the time Buhari took over power in 2015, Nigeria's GDP was about $500 billion. By the time he left in 2023, Nigeria's GDP depreciated by about $200 billion after about 2 or 3 recessions during Buhari's administration. Tinubu is on course to beat Buhari under 2 years. In his first year in office, Nigeria's GDP has depreciated by about $50 billion. The last 1 year alone saw the largest exodus of foreign companies operating in Nigerian market. So the situation is not going to be better, rather it is getting worse. They do not know more than these companies. These companies have departments that look into their future and their future markets. So they make the decisions based on what they see. So the situation will only get worse. It can never get better because the government is headed in the wrong direction. There's no country in the world that does not offer their citizens a form of subsidy or the other, because without subsidy, the price of goods will go high beyond many people's reach. This is exactly what is happening in Nigeria. They are putting the cart before the horse. Increasing the price of petrol without creating an alternative affordable fuel that will drive the economy has brought untold hardship on Nigerians. If Tinubu is sincere, he should have started by sacking the NNPC boss. Just the fact that he promised when he was taking over that all 4 refineries must work before Buhari leaves power. He didn't fulfill any of them. None of them are working today. Rather, they are frustrating Dangote refinery because of their interests.
The legitimate expectation from Nigerians that why can we be an oil producing country with 4 refineries and yet importing sometimes 100% of our petroleum product requirement? It's very sad. The GMD Emeritus has told you the steps that we have taken when the Port Harcourt refinery is going to be in place. But I assure you GMD will follow it up to make sure that within the life of this administration, before Baba's tenure ends in 2023, we'll deliver only 4 refineries.
So no one is deceived. Nigerians have finally woken up. They will hold corrupt Nigerian politicians to account. There's no going back. All this rhetoric about things getting better, no one is buying that, because they are doing all the wrong things while telling people that things will get better. Tinubu bragged about the increase in revenue, that now they used about 60-something% to service the debt, unlike during Buhari's time when they were using 98% of the revenue to service the debt. Now the question is, are Nigerians benefiting from the increase in revenue? The answer is no. It is the people in power that are enjoying the benefits. Tinubu has the largest cabinet in Nigeria's history. He even recently created a new ministry, the Livestock Ministry. So far, he has spent about 7.5 billion naira in purchase of vehicles, foreign vehicles for that matter, for the presidency alone. That includes 1.5 billion naira for the unconstitutional First Lady's office. Also, about 70 billion naira was spent purchasing SUVs that are made in foreign countries for National Assembly members. They also spent about 90 billion naira subsidizing Hajj. Are we going to talk about the billions of naira they spent renovating quarters for the presidency, the Northern Barracks, 21 billion naira for the residence of the vice president? So they are throwing the money around while telling Nigerians to wait till the day things will materialize.
Under the circumstances, I hereby enjoin protesters and the organizers to suspend any further protest and create room for dialogue, which I have always acceded to at the slightest opportunity.
Tinubu is telling Nigerians to come to the negotiating table to negotiate. To negotiate what exactly? You can't negotiate with hunger. A hungry man is an angry man. They were given 3 weeks or 1 month notice before the protest. They didn't use that time to yield to the demands of the protesters. Rather, they used that time to twist Nigerians to stop the protest.
Now that we have been enjoying democratic governance for 25 years, do not let the extremists of enemies of democracy use you to promote an unconstitutional agenda that will set us back on our democratic journey.
Well, that's in an ideal situation. Are we following the rules of democracy? No. Like General Salami Abubakar said, the only way politicians can guarantee that the military will never take over power is to provide good governance. In a democracy, all operators must follow the rules. There must be rule of law, and it must apply to everyone, not select individuals. That's the problem. They were once in opposition. When they were in opposition, no one threatened their lives, no one intimidated them. They campaigned freely and protested. They shut down the country. It was that free hand that propelled them to power. Today, they see the opposition as enemies of the country. They equate loyalty to individuals as patriotism. No. Ordinary protests that Nigerians are embarking on, police are firing at them. So there must be freedom in a democracy. There must be rule of law, there must be justice and equity. If not, the future is completely unpredictable. Since the protests began, there have been calls by many Nigerians, especially in the north, like in this video, on the military to take over power, that they are tired, they are hungry, they no longer have confidence in the current administration because of the hardship they brought on them. But the military is never the solution. Even looking at the military chiefs under the current administration, the way they've been talking about the protests, they've openly become political. They want to criminalize protests. So imagine if they were in power. They always make things worse.
Is this protest motivated by opposition politics?
And again, for the media, I want to also appeal. I noticed throughout yesterday, all the stations were hooked up to the occasion. This is not an election thing. Don't give them that coverage for them to feel, because there are some of them are looking for just moments of, being on the screen.
We don't have revolutionaries in the Nigerian military, unlike in some parts of Western Africa, where they are lucky to have revolutionaries who have at least taken all the right decisions. Niger Republic today is the fastest growing economy in Africa, despite being a military regime. That's why people in Kano are protesting with the Russian flag and calling on Putin to come and save them. They saw what happened in Niger. They feel it is Russia that is making the economy to grow. No, not really Russia. Taking all the right steps and all the right decisions will always make your economy to grow. It has happened in Nigeria before. It happened under Olusegun Obasanjo. It happened under Goodluck Jonathan. He achieved the highest GDP in Nigeria's history. So military might not be an option for Nigerians. The only option is to force the current administration to do the right thing. How are Nigerians going to force them? Nigerians can do it by massive protests until they yield, like it happened in Kenya. It is possible. People need to summon courage and troop out en masse, like their lives depend on it. Everyone goes to the same market. It's time to unite and drop all selfish interests and think about the national interest. That you have money today doesn't mean it will not affect you tomorrow. The fact that you're a Nigerian, whether you're living abroad or living in Nigeria, Nigeria must catch up with you. You can never run away from crimes and other things that affect Nigerians once you're a Nigerian. So if people troop out in massive numbers, they will overwhelm the armed forces. The armed forces will now turn around and tell the politicians who send them to do their dirty jobs and shoot Nigerians on the streets that the situation has gotten out of hand, that they need to yield to their demands. That's the only way out. If the government is able to reduce the petrol price at least to the level where they met it during Buhari's administration, and also fix the exchange rate to where they met it, all these will achieve faster results and reduce poverty instantly, rather than going through military that will not solve any problem. In fact, they will make the situation worse like they always do. Thanks for watching.